Ladies and gentlemen, this is Scary Bad Reviews, and this is my intro. So, it is October 24th. As I promised yesterday, today will be a Full Moon Features doubleheader. For those of you who don't know, Full Moon Features is a production company that has made a shit ton of movies, and they usually border on the line of just absolute disasters and self-aware comedic masterpieces. They're responsible for the Puppet Master franchise. They're responsible for Killjoy. They're responsible for the two franchises I'm going to speak about today. They usually combine very cheap effects with very poor storylines, very low paid actors, and very bad writing, but they're able to do it in a way that just kind of makes you laugh. They don't really. It almost feels like they're doing it on purpose in certain extents. And these two movies today are definitely examples of that. Both of these movies today are very, very similar to each other. Um, the first movie that I did was the GingerDead Man. Yes, you heard that correctly. Um, and in this movie, a gingerbread man is brought to life using the soul of a serial killer who, of course, has to be Gary Busey. I mean, it just absolutely has to be. Um, and the entirety of the movie is just super goofy, off the wall. Like, it feels really close to a late night comedy style movie. I mean, this just really feels like something that you don't know if it's like a fever dream or what when you're watching it. You just feel, it's kind of goofy and it's easy to laugh along with. The writing of it is horrible. Gary Busey is, of course, a super eccentric actor, and his delivery of the lines makes it even goofier. Um, the aspect of them using a gingerbread man is absolutely ridiculous. Um, there's just so many elements to this movie that you look at even after watching and you're like, what in the hell is going on? I mean, who thought this was a good idea? But then you watch it and you find yourself enjoying it. It does seem like a little bit of fun, and that's kind of odd. Most people wouldn't say, oh, this movie about a gingerbread man killing people is fun. But it really is. I mean, you can't help but enjoy yourself watching this, and whether you're laughing at it, you're laughing with it, it's completely up to you. But I mean, I think that people can still enjoy this movie as bad as it is. And so I gave this movie, and I gave the other movie that I watched today, I gave them both 4.69s out of 10. Partially because they really deserved a 4.5 and that they're bad, but they're very enjoyable. And of course, I made it 4.69 because these are late night comedy style movies, and so I had to put a 69 joke in there somewhere. Um, but yeah, I mean, this one was definitely. It's really just weird. It's a weird experience watching them, and you find yourself laughing at very inappropriate times, and you find yourself sitting there listening to Gary Busey's voice coming out of this 6-inch tall gingerbread man, and it's just. You don't know what the hell's going on. You can't help but laugh. You can't help but have a little fun. So it's very creative of them to think of a gingerbread man as a monster, but I don't think it really worked too well. Even though there are 3 sequels to this movie, that's another thing about Full Moon Features. If you don't know, they crank out sequels like nobody's business. There have been now. They're on the 10th Puppet Master movie, the 3rd Killjoy, the 4th GingerDead Man, and coming into the next movie, kind of segue in, they've made 7 Evil Bong movies. So the second movie that I watched today was Evil Bong, which pretty self-explanatory. It is a possessed bong that kills people that use it. I'm not really sure what else you want from me in terms of explanation. That's pretty much it. This is very much along the exact same lines. Like, it honestly feels like the exact same movie as GingerDead Man, just with a different, just with a different object that's being possessed. Like, this time it's not a gingerbread man. This time it's a bong. It's an actual marijuana bong. Like, it's a very interesting idea. And again, you just can't help but just sit there and laugh because of just so many parts of it are inexplicable. So many parts of it are so bad that they're good. I mean, it's just really, it's very difficult for me to talk about Full Moon Features movies seriously because I've always thought that there's this super fine line between self-aware and horrible. There are movies that are purposefully bad and are super self-aware about it and kind of make fun of themselves and make fun of other aspects of horror movies along with it. There are movies that are just genuinely bad that make you want to make fun of horror movies in some situations. And I think that Full Moon Features, I like to think personally that they're on the self-aware side of it. I think they do all of these things on purpose. I think that they do all of these things to kind of parody some aspects of the horror genre, as well as continue to push the boundaries of what can be considered, like, not necessarily a movie, but like what can be considered a horror movie before it's really considered a dark comedy. I try not to think about the fact that they may just be making really, really shitty movies, and I just think that they're being smart about it. But all in all, I gave it Evil Bong a 4.69 as well for the exact same reason I gave Ginger Dead Man a 4.69, because it deserves the 4.5, and the 6.9 is just there for, the comedic factor. But both of these movies are very similar in that you really just don't know how to react to them when you first realize what's happening. And then as time goes on, you kind of see the goofiness and the campiness and, they're borderline comedy movies, both of them. I mean, they both kind of really feel like they're making fun of the rest of the industry. And in the back of my mind, I just really hope that they are making fun of them and they're not just really, really bad movies. There's just got to be some sliver of hope that I'm not just sitting here through 3 hours of shitstorms, and that I'm sitting through 3 hours of maybe, somewhat kind of smart, self-deprecating comedy. So it was, I will have to say that I did enjoy myself watching these two movies. I mean, there have been bad movies that I watched this month and watched in the past that I really just get angry at. But these are two bad movies that I sat and I really did enjoy myself watching, because after, about 10 minutes of each movie, I realized, okay, this isn't going to be good. I need to look at what these people are trying to do, what they're trying to get across, and, I found it. And I think they really do push that envelope of, hey, is this comedy? Is this serious? What are we doing here? So I had a lot of fun, and I think that people who are seasoned horror veterans would have a lot of fun with these two movies. I think that most people who don't spend a lot of time within the genre would probably not enjoy themselves watching these movies, and would probably think anybody who did was crazy. They'd probably see how low of quality these things are and just really be confused. But if you do watch a lot of horror movies, I would suggest watching these two just for a little bit of off-the-wall, off-brand fun. So that's the doubleheader for today, the Full Moon Features doubleheader for today. Tomorrow I have scheduled to watch the Wolfman, and I am going original Wolfman. I am talking Universal Pictures 1930s Wolfman. I've got a couple of the Universal, actually all of the Universal original monsters just kind of in a row here. I'm going Wolfman, Frankenstein, Invisible Man, Creature from the Black Lagoon, of course Dracula. So we're going to roll through these coming up here really close to Halloween. If you guys have any suggestions for me when it comes back to scheduling the podcasts again, which I'm going to be starting back up in November, getting back to closer of a 1 episode a week schedule, giving you a longer episode, start piling in those suggestions for those big episodes. I mean, I love getting any suggestions to watch any kind of movie. And yeah, stay tuned to get into this Universal stuff, and thanks for listening.